What if we told you Back to the Future almost didn't happen the way you remember it? That Marty McFly was originally played by someone else. The time machine was a refrigerator, and one simple casting decision nearly derailed the entire film. Buckle up, because the Back to the Future cast just revealed jaw-dropping secrets even hardcore fans missed. From behind-the-scenes feuds to filming chaos, this is the truth you were never supposed to know. Get ready, this isn't just a movie. It's a time-traveling revelation. When most people think of Back to the Future, they immediately picture the sleek stainless steel DeLorean. But what many don't know is that the time machine wasn't originally a car at all. In early drafts of the script, the time-traveling device was imagined as a refrigerator bulky, stationary chamber that looked more like a relic from a 1950s sci-fi B movie than a vehicle of the future. The creative team, led by Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale, quickly realized that having characters lug around a fridge wouldn't exactly scream blockbuster. They needed something mobile, stylish, and cool enough to grab the imagination of both teens and adults. That's when the idea of using a DeLorean DMC-12 came into focus. The choice wasn't just about looks. The DeLorean, with its gull-wing doors and Lowe's-lung body, already looked like it came from another dimension. And beneath the surface, there was something poetic about using a car that symbolized failed dreams. Created by John DeLorean, the car was mired in controversy and financial failure. By the time filming began, the company had collapsed, and John DeLorean himself was facing criminal charges. It was the perfect metaphor for dashed ambitions and second chances, exactly what the film's themes echoed. Production designer Lawrence Paul even designed the flux capacitor with spiritual symbolism in mind, the Y-shaped core representing the trinity of past, present, and future. But as iconic as the car became, Back to the Future almost never made it to theaters. When Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale first pitched the script, they were turned down by multiple studios. Executives didn't know how to classify the film. Was it a sci-fi flick, a comedy, a teen romance? The mixture scared them. The lead character, Marty McFly, was quirky, the science was weird, and the tone was too unpredictable. But one person believed in it from the start: Steven Spielberg. With his support, Universal Pictures finally agreed to take the risk. Even then, the challenges were far from over. Casting Marty McFly proved to be one of the most dramatic hurdles in the film's production. Originally, the role went to Eric Stoltz, a respected young actor known for his intense performances. For 5 full weeks, Stoltz filmed scenes alongside Christopher Lloyd, Lee Thompson, and others. But the tone was off. Stoltz played Marty like a dramatic character in a trilogy, serious, introspective, and lacking the charm and comedic timing the film desperately needed. Eventually, the creative team made a decision that sent shockwaves through Hollywood. They fired Stoltz mid-production, a move that cost the studio over $3 million and set filming back significantly. Their original choice for Marty McFly had always been Michael J. Fox, the breakout star of the hit show Family Ties. But when they first approached him, he was unavailable due to his commitment to the series. Now, with Stoltz gone and the project in jeopardy, the producers struck a new deal with NBC. Fox would continue filming Family Ties during the day and shoot Back to the Future at night. For months, he operated on barely any sleep, racing between sets and giving every ounce of energy he had to both roles. His exhaustion was real, but it also became part of the character. Marty's frenzied energy, quick wit, and wide-eyed wonder were fueled by pure adrenaline. Not everyone on set welcomed Fox right away. Lee Thompson, who played Lorraine Baines, McFly had already spent weeks filming with Eric Stoltz. They'd developed a rhythm, even a friendship, and she resented the change. In interviews, she admitted that she initially saw Fox as just a TV actor and didn't believe he could carry a major film. There was tension between them early on, especially during the reshoots. But as filming progressed, Fox proved he wasn't just capable, he was perfect. His comedic instincts transformed the tone of the film, and slowly, he won over the entire cast, including Thompson. Their now-famous mother-son scenes crackled with awkward charm, and their chemistry helped elevate the entire movie. Christopher Lloyd, who played the unforgettable Doc Brown, nearly missed out on the role himself. When the script landed on his desk, he gave it a cursory glance and dismissed it. The story seemed odd, the characters over the top, and he wasn't desperate for work, but something made him give it another look. What he discovered was a role that was electric, layered, and totally unique. Lloyd based Doc Brown on a mix of Albert Einstein, conductor Leopold Stokowski, and even his own grandfather. The wild hair, the jerky hand gestures, the sudden bursts of inspiration, it was all carefully crafted. He even stayed in character between takes, keeping his co-stars on edge and helping the performances stay fresh. There were other casting shakeups as well. Melora Hardin was originally cast as Jennifer Parker, Marty's girlfriend, during the Eric Stoltz version of the film. But when Michael J. Fox took over, producers feared the height difference between him and Hardin would be too distracting. Fox stood at about 5'4", while Hardin was noticeably taller. Though her performance was solid, she was replaced by Claudia Wells, who had also auditioned earlier. It was a tough break for Hardin, but she bounced back, eventually becoming known for her role. As Jan Levinson in The Office, one of the most fascinating aspects of the film is how it portrays the 1950s. The Hill Valley of 1955 is not historically accurate, it's a polished fantasy. The warm lighting, the clean streets, and the friendly shopkeepers reflect how the 1980s wanted to remember the past, not how it actually was. There are hints of racial segregation, strict gender roles, and a societal structure that was far from perfect. But the film uses this nostalgic illusion to explore deeper themes: the danger of romanticizing the past, and how small choices ripple through time to change everything. From a scientific standpoint, Back to the Future is surprisingly smart. Bob Gale spent months researching theoretical physics to make the film's concepts feel grounded. The flux capacitor is based on real particle accelerator designs, and the 1.21 gigawatts of power it requires is equivalent to the output of an actual nuclear plant. The time paradoxes, like Marty's photo fading, are visual interpretations of real scientific theories, and even Doc's chalkboard explanation of time loops mirrors what physicists were discussing in journals at the time. The movie's music also tells a deeper story. Composer Alan Silvestri created two distinct musical styles: classic orchestration for the 1950s and synthesizer-driven themes for 1985. The famous Johnny Be Good scene isn't just funny, it symbolizes how cultural innovation flows backward and forward through time. Marty's wild guitar solo, technically performed before Chuck Berry recorded the song, plays with the idea that creativity exists across generations, waiting for someone to channel it. When Back to the Future ends with Doc Brown uttering the now iconic line, "Where we're going, we don't need roads." It feels like the perfect setup for a thrilling new adventure. But surprisingly, that wasn't the plan. Director Robert Zemeckis has said the ending was originally just a joke, a final laugh meant to cap off a wildly imaginative ride. Yet audiences didn't see it that way. They saw promise, potential, and a future worth exploring. Universal Pictures took notice and immediately pushed for a sequel. And so, a trilogy was born, not from careful planning, but because Back to the Future struck such a deep chord with audiences that it demanded continuation. Released in 1985, Back to the Future became the highest-grossing movie of the year, earning over $380 million worldwide. It wasn't just a box office highlight, it was a cultural phenomenon. It redefined how time travel was portrayed in media, introducing paradoxes, alternate timelines, and the butterfly effect to mainstream audiences in a way that was thrilling, emotional, and fun. Phrases like "Great Scott" and "This is" heavy entered the pop culture lexicon. The DeLorean, a car that had flopped in the real world, suddenly became the coolest ride imaginable, so much so that sales briefly spiked. Despite the company being long defunct, the impact of the film has only grown over the decades. October 21, 2015, the date Marty McFly travels to in Back to the Future Part 2 has become an unofficial fan holiday, with celebrations, screenings, and tributes held around the globe. Its influence can be felt in everything from Rick and Morty to Stranger Things, both of which owe much to the film's blend of sci-fi humor and heart. In 2025, the cast reunited at Fan Expo New Orleans to mark the film's 40th anniversary. Michael J. Fox, fighting Parkinson's disease with bravery and grace, brought both laughter and tears to the stage. Christopher Lloyd, whose portrayal of Doc Brown became one of cinema's most beloved characters, revealed he nearly passed on. The role, Lee Thompson shared her reflections on growing with the franchise, and Thomas F. Wilson, who played the unforgettable Biff Tannen, embraced his role as one of film's greatest villains. Even Huey Lewis joined in, reminding fans how perfectly his music captured the spirit of the film. In the end, Back to the Future continues to endure not just because of its flying cars, sci-fi spectacle, or clever script, though all of those helped. It remains T.